So I was at the World Beyond War chapter in Toronto last year, and I had the thought, everything was so inspiring. I had the thought, maybe I'll start a chapter in South Georgian Bay. But it was a thought, and life is busy, and it took over, and it carried on. And in the winter, I took the online Abolish War 101 course. And if anyone hasn't taken that course yet, I really encourage you to take it. So I took that course, and then when I came out of that, I felt compelled to start a chapter in South Georgian Bay. It wasn't a thought anymore, I felt compelled. But it just seemed so overwhelming. What would we do? How would we organize ourselves? We thought, how did we get started? And we got started a year and a half ago by that very video, the debate between the ethics professor at West Point and David Swanson on whether war could be justified. And the first time I heard that, I thought, well, yeah, you know, the Second World War, I mean, we had to stand up to Hitler, right? I had thoughts like that. And by the end of that debate, my sort of half understood, unconscious presumptions about war were up in the air now. So if anyone hasn't seen that debate, I highly encourage that you all take the time to watch it. So we thought, okay, that's how we got interested. Why don't we just ask our friends to come over and watch the debate with us? So that's how we started. And for a couple of months before our first meeting, we probably had about a dozen small meetings in our basement. One person, 3 couples. We had as many as 11 at one point. And we watched the debate together. And they were curious and interested, so they came. We weren't trying to do anything. We weren't asking them to join anything. We just wanted to talk about it afterwards. And everybody had a positive experience of the evening. Not everybody wanted to go forward with it, but when I was confident that there were 12 people who wanted to go forward with it, I contacted Greta, who probably thought, my God, who is this person coming out of nowhere with 12 people who wants to form a chapter in 1 week? And the following week, we had our inaugural meeting, and 20 people showed up for the inaugural meeting. And it was incredibly exciting because they were all coming informed in some way, shape, or form, and choosing to be there because they wanted to do something. It was very, it was inspiring, really. And I would say to anyone out there who wants or is even thinking about setting up a chapter of World Beyond War, that at this point, I can't think of anything more compelling, more important, more valuable that we could possibly do with our time than that. That's where we're at right now. So we're 20, we want to get going. What are we going to do? We decide outreach and education, number 1, which is really important. And since that meeting, we've had 3 meetings, all with an educational form to them, and all over in an hour. We promise our meetings will be over in an hour. You can stay and talk afterwards if you want, but the meeting will be over in an hour, so no one has to worry that they're going to come to something that's going to be deadly boring, or someone's going to grab the mic and go on, or that's not going to happen. The meeting will go and end in an hour. So we've been doing that. We also decided that we were going to get 700 people in South Georgian Bay to sign the Peace Pledge. Why 700 people? Because that's approximately 3.5% of the population of Collingwood, Ontario, which is the town that we live in. And we thought we'll be a little incubator for what we learned from Erica Chenoweth about the 3.5%. So we'll do that. And we had at that point, I don't know, 12 signatures or something at that point, but we were going to go for 700. And our third idea was September 21st was World Peace Day, International Peace Day. Why don't we put on an event? Why not for International Peace Day for our town and see what happens? And we just were bold. I heard someone in a podcast say, just be bold. So we were bold. We were going to do this. And at first we thought, we'll put it on in a community center. Maybe we can fit in 60 people. That'll be great. But by 2 weeks later, I found myself with 2 other people sitting down with the Legion, the Collingwood Legion, to see if they wanted to partner with us to put on this event. And I mean, nobody says no to world peace. And you can't find a veteran who doesn't come back and isn't pro-peace. So in the end, they agreed. What more fitting place than that could we possibly do? And then we produced these flyers for the event. And on this side, that's Georgian Bay. That gives you a picture of how beautiful it is. It says, it only takes a ripple to create a wave. May the ripple begin with us. And on this side, it talks about International Peace Day and the dancing and the entertainment and the inspiration that we want to provide for that evening on September 21st. And we papered the town of Collingwood, the 20,000 people, with 1,000 of these pamphlets. And we thought, at least now we're putting it on the radar screen. It's planting a seed. And maybe 2 weeks before the event, the pamphlets were all gone. So we printed 500 more and repapered the town with these pamphlets. And who knew how many people would show up for the event, but people had taken these pamphlets and were thinking about it. And that was our hope. So then the event comes. We have an indication that about 80 people are going to come. We expect attrition rate of about 10%, so we're hoping for 70. We set the room up so that it can accommodate as many as 100, and 110 people came. Could have been 120, we're not sure. So we were absolutely thrilled. They came, and they were all excited, and they were all pumped, and really, really curious. Now, I had a presentation that I'd been giving. I'd given it to a Rotary group and a few other groups in our area, and it really sort of brought home the impact of war on our planet, the fact that there have been 250 wars since the Second World War. I don't think anyone could have been happier with how the evening went. So we're on a roll. I honestly don't know where it'll go. If you told me a year ago that I'd be standing here talking to you now, I would have thought, no. But I don't know where we'll be this time next year. I do know that there are a lot of us who did not know about CANSEC, which is the largest North American expo for suppliers to the military. And so I think there'll be a lot of us showing up in Ottawa next year for the conference next year. So it's exciting. And for those of you out there thinking about becoming a chapter coordinator, I can't, do it, just do it.